and welcome back to the Walking Dead Maniacs. I am your host, Kevin. Joining me as always is Gina.
Hey, y'all.
And Felix.
Ah,
We are going to get a short recap of last week. Gina, tell us what happened last week.
Last week, Lydia was leaving Hilltop. She's ready to just go to Commonwealth, see what it's all about. As she's leaving, a rider comes up. He's been shot. He gives them a map, tells them that they need help. So she recruits Elijah to go with her to go help this new community. And Maggie decides at the last minute to go with them. The Commonwealth is also interested in this new community.
Mhm.
So they send Aaron and Father Gabriel to the new community to kind of break ground. They've got a new person with them. His name is Toby Carlson. And he's just kind of the man behind the scenes. But when they get in there, he just takes over the meeting. He basically captures the community that they've gone to try to save. Aaron finds Maggie and Lydia and Elijah on the way there and tells them, that everything has gone bad. So they go back. And so you've got the Hilltop and the Commonwealth and this new community all in this big apartment complex. And it's just a matter of who's going to do what. Right now, the Commonwealth is on the up and up. I mean, they're the leaders right now. They've got it captured. They've taken over.
Awesome.
and the reason why they're all going there, though, is because the Commonwealth was sending supplies and guns to Alexandria because they're helping Alexandria rebuild. Someone took their cart. So all that stuff's missing. So they're blaming this new group. So that's
Right.
our group doesn't know going into it. I'm going to jump a little bit on the callbacks because since this
Okay.
is the last season, they said that they're going to throw callbacks for the whole series. And
Right.
the couple I caught were, did you see like the skulls on the shelf? That
Looks
kind of
like the
reminded
governor's
me.
fish tanks.
Yeah, that reminded me of the Governor Fish tanks. And then when Aaron meets our group, like the same thing. He walks
That is
in, he
exactly
puts his
what I was.
hands up like this. And just like when he met our group and
Right.
brought them into Alexandria, he meets his group and is like, hey, you guys want to come join us? Yada, yada,
Well,
yada.
yeah, it just, I mean, it was almost word for word when he brought in
Yeah.
Rick. And when him and Rick are in there alone, he's like, you think I'm going to kill your baby daughter? What good is that going to do me? And then Gabriel says, they'll come and they'll kill you. And Aaron looks at him and goes, or, he's just, Aaron is totally floored by this turn of event that has happened because he really
Yeah.
thought that they were coming in to
help.
And it never was a help mission as
Yeah.
far as
What Lance
Commonwealth
did
goes.
is he got the Commonwealth soldiers and told them to go there and find out who did it and to find their weapons. Our group didn't know that this is something that they were planning on doing. So when they start
Right.
killing people, they're like, what is going on?
So
that
Aaron
brings
escaped, and he finds Maggie and Elijah and Lydia on their way there. And then Negan is reintroduced into the series. He sees what's going on. So he goes in. They've got Gabriel now as a hostage, the Commonwealth does. Aaron has escaped. So Negan comes in and he saves Gabriel, and Maggie and Aaron and Lydia and Elijah are on their way. They still are not aware that Negan is a part of this new community.
And that brings us to yesterday's episode.
Right.
Yes.
This week's episode, Season 11, Episode 14, The Rotten Core. The show opens as Toby, a former CIA agent, watches the residents he just threw off the roof reanimate. The Commonwealth soldiers call Lance Hornsby to inform him that they've taken over the building. As Maggie, Lydia, Elijah, and Aaron go deeper into the said building.
Right. They've let Lance know that they've taken over the building, but they haven't found the weapons. So
Yeah,
they're on a mission now. That's their goal now. They're going to find the weapons, even if they have to kill everybody there.
And talking about callbacks, that's also kind of like the Negan thing, the way he has them down and he's pushing them off the roof one at a time,
Yeah.
wanting the information. And they didn't take it. At the end, we find out what happens. But they're just slaughtering these people.
While as Daryl and Carroll make a lunch date, Daryl and Rosita get their assignments for the day, which is changed by Sebastian, who wants them to get him some money from the panic room of a house that is filled with walkers.
Did you notice when they set them in their assignments, they went right back to the A, B, C, and D. Rosita and Daryl had the D grid. I guess that's where they were supposed to go.
I didn't catch that. That's a good one.
It's always something with the A, B, C, and D. I swear.
Yeah, A or A and B and all that. Yeah,
right.
I didn't catch that. But yeah, this Sebastian guy is such a douche, man. I mean, he's again in the comics, he's the one that kills Rick. You know, this guy's just a douche.
The thing about this that bothers me, and we haven't talked about this yet, but Sebastian, he does pull Rosita and Daryl off of their assignment and tells them that he now wants them to go into this community that has fallen, where somebody that he knew had a safe room and it's filled with money, and his bitch of a mother has cut off his account. So he needs this money to live up to his lifestyle. And Daryl and Rosita are like, nah, we're not even going to do this for you. And that's when Sebastian screws up.
Yeah, because he brings up the kids, like, oh, how are your kids liking things? And Daryl's like, I'm not having it. Pulls up a knife and he goes, you threaten my kids one more time. And see, our group has been, you know, there for what, 12 years now into the apartment? Money has been nothing. Remember that bag of money they found in the beginning of the season in the underground train station? They found a bag of money and they were like, whatever. They just left it there because money has been nothing. And then now money means something again. But to our group, they're like, nah, I don't want to deal with that.
I wonder how many times Daryl flashes back to him and Beth burning all that money.
That's true too.
Right. Well, Maggie, Lydia, Aaron, and Elijah run into Negan's group who occupy the building. They are suspicious of one another, but after realizing they saved Father Gabriel, they agree to help one another.
Yeah, and that's what Aaron asks Negan right off the bat. Oh, like we're supposed to trust you with this new groups with heads on the walls? I thought that was
their leader, Ian, is the one and only Michael Biehn. From Terminator, from Aliens, from the best movie of all time, Best Western, Tombstone. Man, when I saw him there, I'm like, that's Michael Biehn.
I have to disagree with you on the Best Western.
Well, Young Guns is up there.
Well, yeah, Young Guns, but no, Lonesome Dove.
What? Isn't that like a sappy love story thing?
No, Lonesome
I don't think I've seen it.
Well, it was a miniseries on regular television, but it is.
Well, it's not a movie.
That's not a movie. That's a miniseries.
Well, it's still the only Western that I will watch.
Have you seen
Tombstone? Love Young Guns.
Have you seen Tombstones or Young Guns? And I know we're taking a side note here, but
yes. And did you hear there's supposed to be another Young Guns this year?
Yeah, that was rumored. They were.
Oh shit! That breaks my heart. No, I love Westerns. I've seen them all. But Lonesome Dove is really my favorite.
All right. Well, Daryl and Rosita run into the Commonwealth resident in the house and realize Sebastian has done this before, which obviously something went wrong.
Yeah, they go in and they find people that are recently
died. A woman named April.
And then the woman that's locked in the panic room, because I guess they got the generator to work to get in there. And then she's locked in there and she's been in there for God knows how long. So Daryl, I love this. It reminded me of the Batman scene where they're shooting him and the only light you see is the flicker of the bullets.
Yeah.
Daryl's messing with the generator or something, and it's like trying to start. But as it's trying to start, you see the walkers come in. It's just a good horror movie moment. And this is a show, you know, because the light's flickering and you just see Daryl, you know, killing all these walkers. It was pretty cool. But and then they get into the panic room.
As Negan, Aaron, Father Gabriel, and Lydia catch up, Negan notices that Herschel stowed away with Maggie's group and was captured by a Commonwealth soldier. After saving Herschel, Negan and Herschel talk for the first time.
Dude, I got chills when this happened. I literally stopped, took a picture of the screen and sent it to Kevin. I'm like, dude. And then Herschel, are you a bad man? My mom told me to stay away from you. And Negan's
Right.
like, yeah. He goes, you're the bad man that killed my dad, aren't you?
But see,
That
my
was,
problem with that, my only problem with that is, and I know that Herschel didn't get to ever meet Glenn, but that was totally Maggie and Herschel. I wanted to see more Glenn in Herschel, and I know it's an unreal expectation because he doesn't know who Glenn is, but Glenn was always the forgiver. And maybe that'll come in time, but when he put that gun up on Negan, I thought, oh, don't make him into such a...
I see where you're coming from, but he killed his dad. I mean, we
know.
grown, we hated Negan at one point after
Right.
season 7, episode 1. I mean, we grew to and I think he's going to be the one that goes with Maggie to save Herschel, which is why we're not going to get into that spinoff again.
We did hate Negan, but look at everything that Nicholas did, and still Glenn, was trying to help him. And I don't know, that just, I want to see some Glenn come out in Herschel.
And I think we will, because I mean, Negan told him hopefully there's a flash forward. And we see that in the flash forward, because the last episode, the last comic book of The Walking Dead is a flash forward. And it doesn't, the story is over and it's what's happening in the future. If they do that, they may touch on that a little bit.
That'd be cool.
Because Negan tells Herschel, we're going to finish this later in a few years. Now's not the time to finish this.
Well, Daryl and Rosita make it into the panic room and get Sebastian's money. They find themselves stuck in the room as the alarm brings in more walkers. Suddenly, gunshots. Mercer and Carroll to the rescue. After gutting up, they try to slip by the walker. When the women get attacked by walkers, they clean house.
Right. I don't know why Daryl and Rosita got locked in there. I mean, they should have grabbed the money and gotten out, but they had to help April get out. So Rosita gave April her armor. And then Mercer and Carroll do show up, but you don't see Carroll for a split second. All you see is Mercer.
Yeah, they're like, whatever about the money, the alarm's going off, it makes more walkers come in. So they put something in front of the door, and then all of a sudden you're, Herschel and Carroll. But with that, then even more walkers come in. So they do the guts trick, which I love. They keep doing that now for some reason. And again, it's a callback to season 1, episode 3. They do the guts trick. And girl still, her thing gets caught on a walker or something, and
the armor gets caught on one of the walkers' piece of clothing or something, and is pulling on the walker.
They get her, but they ended up getting up. They go to town, which I love. Mercer, you could tell Mercer was out. It's like our group, our group. They know how to fight. They know how to take on a group of walkers. Always reminds me of Rick in season 5, I think it was, in the No Way Out storyline, where there's all the walkers in Alexandria and he just walks out with his axe, slow motion.
Yeah. I liked the fact that when they got there, Mercer just shot those 2 troopers that were with Sebastian. He was just like, well, your time is over. Just shot him right there.
Which you could tell Mercer sees things the way our group does.
Right.
Well, Maggie and Vickers put their plan into motion, which works. They defeat all of the Commonwealth soldiers. That
was pretty cool. I like the way Aaron didn't really kill the dude, Toby, but he killed him because he shoots him in the armor, which makes him fall, and he lands right by the other guys that he killed. And I don't know, something happened. He snapped his back or his spine or something, but he can't move. And then the other walkers like slowly come up to him, and that was like,
well, they were on the roof and he fell off the roof. And I think that's probably why Aaron moved when he landed.
Yeah, because he landed right on his back, and he landed hard too. They showed that for a reason. And,
and all those people that he had killed just attacked him and put him out of his misery.
Toby too, though, he's also on the Ozarks, and I know I've mentioned that to Kevin before. It's a good show, but he also plays a little bit of a sleaze there too.
He's got a sleaze look about his face, doesn't he?
Kind of like Lance and the oily look, yeah.
Yeah.
The oily look, you completely adopted it, didn't you?
Yep.
All right, well, Mercer, Daryl, and Rosita deliver the cash to Sebastian. Carroll informs Lance of Sebastian's mission and gets an unexpected reaction.
First of all, though, Lance does give Daryl and Rosita some of the cash. What, you didn't think I wasn't going to pay you for doing this? And I thought, well, that's
something. I thought,
is that something that he did because that's the kind of guy he is, or did he do that because he's hoping that he can use that against them later?
Later he might, because like, where'd you get that money from, and accuse them of doing something. But yeah, Carroll was tripping that Lance knew about it, because he's like,
finally he got somebody getting that money.
Yeah.
It's about time
that he sent them up in there. And so Carroll also plays along too, and it's like, yeah, you're right, you
either do things to get things done, whether it's right or wrong, or you don't contribute at all, is basically what he was telling Carroll, I thought.
Mm-hmm. And then she's got that smile, and then she turns around and walks away, and you can see her face drop. She's totally playing him, but
yeah, I think Carroll.
He's starting to get feelings with Carroll, because he's like, it's nice to have someone to talk to that knows. Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. That's the last thing he says to her is, it is so nice to finally have somebody that understands that I can talk to. And Carol's got that I'm fixing to bake you some cookies look on her face.
Lance is going to look at the flowers, watch.
Yep, he sure is.
Well, as Maggie, Aaron, and Gabe discuss what happened to the shipment, it jumps to 2 weeks ago.
So check it out.
Did you get the feeling Maggie is taking the survivors back to Hilltop, Negan and everybody? Because like they said, they can't leave them there because Hornsby will just send somebody else to take care of them to get the weapons.
That's what they were talking about. Yeah, that
So I think that they all end up back at Hilltop.
They may, because it showed the 6 months later where we were talking about in the first episode of this second half of the season, where Daryl's in the Commonwealth gear and he goes up to Maggie and she's like, it doesn't have to be that way. And Daryl's like, well, yeah, it does. But they show a little bit of more on the, I don't know if you saw next week's previews, but it shows where she's like, I don't trust Lance, but Daryl's like, trust me. So I'm thinking, I don't know who's going to be on our team side, Lance or Pamela. I'm still back and forth. One episode, I think it's one. The other episode, I think it's the other. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be on our team side?
Mercer.
Well, definitely Mercer. But
I between Lance and Pamela, I don't know. If I had to choose, I think Pamela's got a better head on her shoulders as far as working with people.
You know what? They're
Lance
trying to
just wants it his way.
That's true. Lance, though, they're trying to make both of them, look bad. So you really kind of don't know, especially with Lance knowing Sebastian's plan all along.
Right.
But what did you think? Did you know it was Leah that took the guns and the supplies?
Well, when I saw that person and I saw that hair, I thought, oh, you son of a bitch. I don't want her back. I wish Maggie would have killed her.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's going to obviously cause a huge conflict with Daryl and group, but she's a mercenary, so she knows how to handle herself. She took out 5 Commonwealth soldiers with guns with her hands.
I don't know. I don't like her. I didn't like her from the very beginning, and then I didn't like her from the very beginning because they set us all up to just love Connie, for one thing, and then they showed her, and I'm like, oh no, that is wrong.
That's going to be, I think, at the end. She's not going to come back for a while, maybe the last quarter of the shows, and she's going to be a thorn in their side when they're trying. She's going to be the obstacle they have to go over before they can go against the Commonwealth.
And the thing that I don't like about it is and we talked about this, nobody liked Negan. It's taken a long time for me to even admit that I like Negan. Maggie is already having to you give up a lot just to be around Negan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then if
Mhm.
she has to do that now with Leah too, you know, if Daryl is dead set on bringing Leah into the fold,
Because Leah killed her people at the
right?
Meridium. So
You know, that's a harsh thing that they're asking Maggie to do. So
but
I'm hoping it doesn't go that way. I'm hoping that Leah is a Morales, you know, back and gone.
I don't know. We'll see what's up. I got something to tell you after we're done, though.
Okay.
Well, that does it for this episode of The Walking Dead. Now it is time for your rating. Ladies first. Gino, what do you rate this
They-
out of 10?
They were just setup episodes. They were just set up for what's coming in the next episodes. There wasn't anything really, I didn't think fantastic. A lot of throwbacks like
Like the
Felix
last
had mentioned
episode,
earlier.
I was just gonna ask you that too. Did you catch any throwbacks this episode? I didn't.
Yeah. I just thought that both of the episodes they're just setup episodes for whatever's coming. I don't want to call them filler episodes because they did put a lot of
Progress the
enlightenment
story.
into what's coming up, but I don't know. They weren't my favorite episodes, except for Father Gabriel. He's got some pretty good
Yeah, he's got some.
lines.
If you had to
To
rate
me,
it
I'm
out of
gonna
1 out of 10, did you give your rating, Gino? I didn't hear it.
No, I didn't. And I'm stuck. Not more than a 5.
5? All right.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 6.5, just because
Yeah.
the action was there, and Herschel and Negan. I mean, that scene, like I said, I tripped out. I got chills. I took a picture and I sent it to Kevin. I'm like, you know, it's the first time they've ever been in the same room, just them, you
Right.
know, and then the little talk and whatever. And it wasn't just the way it sets up the future, and maybe even, like I keep saying, the next spinoff with them
Right.
going in and looking for Herschel.
Right.
So
Huh?
6.5.
6.5. So that's a average rating of about 5.5, rounded down a little bit. So about 5.5. All right. Well, that does it for this episode of The Walking Dead Maniacs. Do all the YouTuber things. Give it a like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us what you thought of these past 2 episodes. So for Gina and Felix, I am Kevin saying, try to stay alive, everybody.
See ya.